Alright, yo, what's good? It's your boy Raven, BTP, BTP Raven. You already know. I'm here today to talk about PTL Season 5 D2. Yo, we made it to the finals against Luxanse and the Avant Heim Flugel. So, man, this season is crazy. So, week 1, we faced off against Luxanse, and as you can see, we got swept 6-0. Could not deal with that Embor, could not break the Scizor, could not break the Lily. Yeah, so that was pretty nasty. But finals, we have to face off against him once again. Like I said, we got swept week 1, so we started right at the very bottom while he started at the very top. And I think after week 3, well, we were climbing back like after our week 1 loss like crazy, right? But after week 3, I think we were first place for the majority of the season until the very end, where we lost to Joey and the Los Angeles Needle Kings. But enough of that. For playoffs, only 4 out of 14 teams made it in, and we beat Galata and the Northside Northerns. Galata was a tough opponent for sure. I think he took over someone else, and then he went undefeated with the team ever since. And it was honestly such a close and, well, hacksy semifinals, but it was a good one. But we do end up facing Luxanse, who beat the first seed, so 2 against 4. I knew I had to come better prepared so I don't get swept by him this time around, you know what I mean? Anyways, his team: Mega Scizor, Zapdos, Rillaboom, Azelf, Swampert, Trigology, Emboar, Slurpuff, Spiritomb, Vigoroth, and Lileep. Whereas my team is Latios, Corviknight, Greninja, Toxtricity, Porygon 2, Alomomola, Talonflame, Surfetch'd, Mudsdale, Lantern, Wobbuffet. So, while prepping against him, I knew I wanted to bring Corviknight for sure, right? And Talonflame for sure. But everything else was up in the air. I pretty much wanted to bring everything except the Surfetch'd and Lantern. Actually, no, I wanted to bring Lantern as well. I pretty much wanted to bring everything except Lantern. I mean, Surfetch'd. What? Man, I'm just mixing them up. But, yeah, like I had a bunch of different sets, like funky stuff, like Shift Gear Toxtricity and Iron Defense Body Press Mudsdale, which I decided not to bring for this matchup. And I knew, looking at his team, well, there are a lot of things that are scary. Scizor, Mega Scizor was definitely coming. Zapdos was definitely coming. Embor was scary last time. I had to be better prepared. Azelf was probably coming. I was really scared of a setup Azelf set, like a Nasty Plot or Calm Mind Azelf set, but that means they could only bring 3 attacks. Most likely Thunderbolt, most likely Energy Ball for my Lantern, and probably Psyshock. But then that means he can't bring U-Turn or Dazzling Gleam, right? So that means Latios can sit in front of it. And if he chooses not to bring another one of those moves, then I have my other mons that can sit in front of it and deal with it, right? So anyways, let's talk about the team I bring. First off, Latios, Byleth, clearly shiny because in 3 houses, spoilers, Byleth changes his hair color to the same color. I brought Energy Ball for the Swampert, Ice Beam for Zapdos, Mystical Fire for Mega Scizor, and Recover just so, let's say I'm in on Zapdos, right? I can just heal up that damage again. Or in on Lily, something that's just thick and not doing damage to me. I want to say this is a level 50 league because Wi-Fi tier. So that's why all these stats look pretty jank. I believe I had this Sped Crep to outspeed a Scizor set. I don't remember what kind of Scizor set I was planning to outspeed. I believe like Max Speed Adamant, something like that. Has to be something like that, no? I wanted max special attack just so I could at least 2-hit KO Zapdos if it was a special defensive set, and I just wanted as much damage as I could, as well as much HP as I could on Latios, so I could actually come in on Embor's Flare Blitz or even Wild Charge. Wild Charge is not doing much to Latios. I could come in on that, scare it with the potential Psychic move, recover up or just fire off like a move predicting his switch-ins. So that's pretty much Latios. I think he's my only offensive mon that I bring in this matchup. Next, I bring Corviknight. Corviknight just comes in on Rillaboom, any kind of Rillaboom. Deals with Slurpuff to an extent. I do have the Iron Head, but not having the max defense makes it harder to deal with Slurpuff because I can get 2-hit KO'd by it. And I had to spread because I wanted to take as much hits as I could from the likes of Azelf and Zapdos. As long as the Zapdos was not some sort of max special offensive set, I'm taking like less than 50 from Volt Switches. I'm not even taking that much from Discharges, to be honest. But that's Corviknight. I need a Defogger as well, in case he decide to bring Toxic Spikes Dragology again, and just to get away rocks in general, hazards in general. So that's Corviknight. Next, I decide to bring Max Fizdef Talonflame again with the Flame Body. Switches into Scizor. This thing's actually pretty neat. Does more than just switch into Scizor. So, okay, I bring Toxic, right, to predict the Zapdos or even Lileep switch in. I'm faster than Lileep, right? So in theory, I can Roostall it because Ancient Power or whatever rock move it's going for is not going to do much to me. Unless he does predict and clicks Earth Power, starts clicking Earth Power instead. But either way, I do have other things and other methods to deal with Lileep. I don't need to do that with Talonflame. Like, Talonflame is just mainly here for Scizor. I was debating U-turn over, was it Tailwind? But I felt like having momentum in this matchup was pretty key. So I went and decided to get U-turn instead. So fourth, Porygon 2 is coming. My Azelf answer. I originally was debating Icy Wind over Tri-Attack because if he Nasty Plots up, Psyshock is 2-hit KOing Porygon 2. So if Porygon 2 went down, I wanted to lower Azelf's speed just so I can revenge kill it with Latios or something like that. Even Talonflame, right? Or even Corviknight. Actually, I don't think Corviknight is faster at -1 speed. But yeah, if Azelf got going and it had like Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolts, Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, Psyshock with Nasty Plot, that's just a wrap right there. So I had to pray that he didn't bring that exact set in a sense. So Tri-Attack, Analytic, just so I can break the subs on Zapdos. I mainly wanted Tri-Attack over Icy Wind because I didn't want Scizor freely switching in on this thing every time, and if I had Tri-Attack, he would have to fear the 20% chance of being burned, paralyzed, or frozen. So that's that. This 24 speed, what was this speed for? It was to outspeed something specific. Something specific. I don't remember. Frankly, I don't remember that well. Yeah. What was it? Oh well. Anyways, with Porygon 2, Teleport was good, just so I could get momentum as well. But that's pretty much it. It was here for Azelf mainly, and Zapdos. How can I forget Zapdos? Okay, so our fifth Mon was something I was debating really heavily about. But turns out Wobbuffet was really clutch this game. Anyways, Wobbuffet, I wanted Wobbuffet to deal with Lileep mainly, because I realized once I get rid of that thing, Latios was pretty much free to end the game, right? Because I would have Alola in for Emboar. I'd have Corviknight in for a Rillaboom. I'd have a Porygon 2 for Azelf. But, like, getting rid of one fat thing that pretty much freely swapped in on whatever would have been really helpful. Like, I just Toxic that thing with Porygon 2, teleport out, go into Wobbuffet, safeguard so they can't Toxic me, and just Encore that thing in. Like, it's just stuck there. It will be stuck there, dying to Toxic. So, I wanted to go bold because I knew I was taking whatever hit from um, most of his especially offensive mons, right? And let's say Zapdos is in and clicks U-turn, click counter, something's taking like what, 50%, maybe even over 50, right? Let's say I didn't want to play like too stally of a style. Let's say he goes wild charge on Alola, I take like 60 on Alola with from his Emboar. I go into Wobbuffet, I take like 30 something, and then I click counter, and Emboar's just dead right there. I don't have to deal with it again. And Wobbuffet, I'm just gonna say Wobbuffet came in clutch this game. Last but not least, Alola, my Emboar switch in. I realized from week 1, I really needed a switch in from Emboar because that thing killed like 3 mons, right? And I don't want this thing to crit me again. I don't want Emboar to crit me again. Emboar's nasty. I wanted that. Scald for Scizors, for Emboars, Toxics for Zapdos and Lileeps, and whatever, to be honest. Wish, so I can wish past to a lot of things like my Wobbuffet, my Talonflame, my Latios. Substitutes, interesting. I want to substitute because it's most likely that I'll swap this thing in on Emboar's Flare Blitz, right? Flare Blitz isn't doing much. He's most likely switching out after that into like a Zapdos or something. I get a sub up. I click Toxic. That's a free poison on a Zapdos right there. And then I just get the heck out of there, right? Or, well, if they're faster and they U-turn, which I doubt would have happened because I'm behind a freaking sub, right? Well, a lot of things could happen. So let me just get into the game. Switch sides. So I lead Talonflame as he leads Slurpuff. I know I'm faster. I click U-turn. This is actually scary because he goes for the belly drum, and honestly I was debating on leading Corviknight, but I really felt like he was gonna lead Zapdos or even Scizor, and I really didn't want them to get momentum on me, right? So I led Talonflame in hopes of a Scizor. Well, if he did lead Zapdos, Talonflame wouldn't be that great, but I was predicting he would just U-turn out for turn 1, right? I didn't want to play safe. I played really safe week 1. But this thing's in, belly drums, and yeah, like I said in the team builder, it 2-hit KOs me. So here, I have to go into my Talonflame, and I get Flame Body Burn right here. So I had to scout out if it had Facade. That's pretty much my logic in that turn. And well, knowing the player that Luxanse is, he's really good. I respect him a lot. He would have brought Facade most likely. And I didn't want to lose Talonflame, so I go into Corviknight, sack this thing, see what he wanted to do, and he did have the Facade. So in hindsight, it wasn't good to get this thing burnt because Facade's doing more than whatever else he had. And here I had to pray Slurpuff didn't kill Wobbuffet, right? Because it was a roll. It was like 92 to 100 something. So it was in my favor, just slightly, and I lived. Whoa, I lived. And I got the counter off. Wobbuffet was clutch. So I go into Talonflame on the Scizor, and he brings Toxic this time around, which is really good. He does want to chip down my Talonflame as much as he can without touching it. And I switch out here. He actually Hurricanes, and he U-turns as I try to Toxic it. So good on him. I switch out to Talonflame. Again, this guy's making good reads on me, and he gets momentum up. Emboar's in. I go into a Alola, I take that, and I believe I go for a Toxic here. Okay, Wish. Yeah, I was about to say if not Wish. And I go into Porygon 2, feeling confident that he's not going to click knockoff there. I heal up. I don't know what Rillaboom's going to do, so I go into Talonflame, right? He clicks knockoff. I don't get the burn, unfortunately. But, yeah, not getting the burn on it's scary. So, PP's nicknames, by the way, we pretty much all Byleth in this finals. We planned this from the beginning. Luxanse was like, you want to go nickname all your mons Byleth and have like a Byleth on Byleth 6v6 finals? I was like, yo, I'm down for this. And he's like, yo, this is some pog shit right here. But Lileeps in, I U-turn out, go into a Alola as he gets rocks at Toxic. And Rillaboom's on a timer, but Rillaboom is actually pretty scary. I go into Talonflame, hoping he, knowing he's not gonna 2-hit KO me, right? And hoping he, well, I don't know what I was hoping for, because it was already toxic. But I knew like it couldn't touch my Talonflame, and I could just heal back up with Talonflame, right? So I'm not in a good position right here. Here I was predicting he would U-turn, so I boost up here. He misses the Hurricane. Hurricane would have done like 30 onto my Talonflame, and I do heal up. And here I still think that he's gonna Hurricane or U-turn, so I stay in, right? It was a tough call, and well, he made a right call. He made the right call to just thunderbolt that. In hindsight, well, I was either gonna stay in or go Latios, but I did not want the U-turn chip, right? So it was a 50-50, and he made the right call. So now I bring in my Latios, and I click Ice Beam. Alright, it's not special defensive. And I was like, alright, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty decent. He doesn't Toxic me, and he just U-turns. So here, I do not want this thing to U-turn as I recover up, right? And that's probably what he's thinking right now, that I'm just going to click Recover, knowing that I'm going to Mystical Fire. Well, knowing... Alright, how do I phrase this? I think his logic was he thinks I'm going to click Recover, right? Because there's no way he would stay in on a Mystical Fire with Scizor. But I did not want to risk him staying in and clicking U-turn. So I clicked Mystical Fire, so 2 Mons kind of die back to back. He kills my Talonflame, I kill his Mega Scizor, and Rillaboom's in. And just looking from his team, like compositionally, his team's fairly slow. Outside of Azelf, and he didn't even bring Azelf, right? So this thing had to be the Scarfmon. Well, it could be Emboar, because Emboar's damage did not look too substantial from what I was seeing. But I knew this thing had to be Scarf. It's probably clicking Knockoff or U-turn. And I don't want to take either of those with Latios, to be honest. So I go into Porygon 2, not doing much. Safe switch into Rillaboom. And here he goes into Emboar and clicks Wild Charge. Here I was fine just sacking this thing. I thought he was going to make the double. I genuinely thought he was going to click the double. And I didn't want that to happen. So I stay in with Porygon 2 and just click Tri Attack. I do get some good chip. And here Emboar was doing big damage to something, right? And I knew it wasn't banded. So I didn't want to risk him switching up moves and killing Latios. So I sack off Wobbuffet here. It already did its job. It killed Slurpuff for me. It saved my life. And now I'm free to go Latios and just click Recover. But Lileep's in. I go Porygon 2. And this is fine. He Toxics me. I'm still alive. And I can just recover back up with Porygon 2. But Porygon 2 is basically at such a low health here. He clicks Wild Charge. Can't do too much to this thing. I have 3 Mons left, and they're all fairly low outside of Latios, so it's looking dangerous for us. And obviously, he clicks Wild Charge again. I can heal back up here, and Wild Charge kills himself. He kills himself with Wild Charge. Rillaboom, this turn was scary, because he could definitely just click Drum Beating, or he could just click U-turn, or even Knockoff. Everything seemed really bad for me as soon as Scarf Rillaboom was in. So I played ballsy there, and I did make a decent read. And here Zapdos is in. I knew I had to keep one more switch in just for that Rillaboom, right? But Porygon 2 was not it. Porygon 2 wasn't going to be doing it. So I stay in, I Toxic this thing, right? Because I knew there was no way this thing was clicking Thunderbolt, right? If it clicked Thunderbolt, then I was free to recover up with Porygon 2 as soon as Alomola died. If it roosted, that just happened. I just got a Toxic off. And if he switched out, I don't even know what would happen if he switched out into Rillaboom. That would have been scary. I would have had to sack something there. But Porygon 2, at this point, I didn't need it as he clicks Hurricane. I did not want him to click U-turn and get momentum up. I click Recover here as he goes into Lileep. I go into Lola Mola because I know he can't do shit to my Latios. And I can't do shit to it with Latios. And I know he's clicking Toxic. So here I make a wish. He's not killing Latios here. So I U-turn. Well, he U-turns. I stay in again and make that read. And he goes into Zapdos. Heal up. And here, I know he's most likely roosting or clicking Thunderbolt. So I go back into Latios. And I know I'm killing things, right? Here, I don't know why he goes into Lily. Pretty sure he wasn't calcing for this kind of damage. I didn't even think I was going to do that much damage to Lily, right? Pretty sure his mindset was he takes 2 hits before dying. So that's why he swapped it in. But turns out it dies in 2 hits. And here, I knew nothing was going to kill me. I click Ice Beam here. And this was risky business. I killed the Zapdos. And it came down to this turn. Is he clicking Knockoff? Is he clicking Drum Beating? If he clicks Knockoff, I win with Alola Mola. If he clicks Drum Beating, which was a roll to kill. From what I was calcing, it was a roll to kill my Latios. And it definitely kills my Alola Mola. So he had to bank on Drum Beating, right? And it came down to whether or not I lived that. And, well, I was just blessed by Sothis and the gods and Arceus and all of them. And, man, I won finals. I finally beat Luxanse, someone who I really respect. Someone I lost friggin' season 2, PTL season 2 finals to. And I kept losing to him. Like the first time I faced him, it was a close game, but after that, it was never close at all. But I finally got to beat this guy, and I finally won a championship in PTL. So, man, that was really exciting. And before the match even started, normally I like to have meals before I do my matches, right? I did not have a meal, and I was like, oh shit, this is a bad omen. This is a bad freaking omen, but holy shit, we were blessed. Man, this was such a close and good game as well. Like, good GG to Luxanse. I know we'll meet again in a finals for sure. And well, that's it. That's it. We just won. We just won the whole season. Damn. After being in first place and then at the end not being in first place, and then finally winning, it feels. I know it's weird to say this, but it feels right to win this season, you know, because we did really well. Anyways, that does it for us. And yeah, peace out, guys.